guys, it is hot, hot, hot in Mississippi. I would love, love, love to have one of those right there to cook on. And if I ever build me a house or something, I'm gonna have me some sort of pit like that I can cook on. I love it. All right, so y'all saw my video from a couple days ago. It's still Saturday, and I am over here at Bevel Hill Church. I park here at the church, and I'm gonna go over here to Scattertown Trail. So I come over here on the Noxubee Refuge, and I'm at the Scattertown Trail. But it's Saturday afternoon. We've got a lot done around the house. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just start walking down the road here until I hit the trail. But I just talked to Aiden. He just left the gym. He's in my white Ford. I'm in his old black Toyota. It is 5 o'clock and it's 103 degrees. So it is smoking hot in Mississippi. All right, so I'm at the Scattertown Trail, 1.75 miles round trip. Daylight use only. I hadn't been here in a while. I hope the trail's in pretty good shape. We fixing to try it. If you look at it right there, it just makes a big loop. 1.75 miles, moderate to difficult. It is super, super hilly in here. Named after a settlement that disappeared long ago, this trail loops through some of the highest hills of the refuge. Upland hardwood, shortleaf pine, mockernut hickory, and stands of switch cane can be seen along this trail. Some of the views from the ridges and into the ravines can be beautiful year round, but especially in the fall. So I am going to get started. I'm going to walk a little bit just to get good and loose. Then I'm going to start running. Tell you what I didn't do that I normally do. I did not spray for red bugs. So, woo, gosh almighty, what a spider web. So I see right now, I'm gonna have to get me a stick, and definitely gotta have it. Look at this big old tree right here. Let's get up and over it. All right, so I'm gonna find me a stick, probably for these spider webs, and I'm fixing to continue to work on getting in elk shape. So y'all come on, go with me. Okay, so that ain't gonna work. The Scattertown Trail, I guess after the storm, it's lots of trees and stuff like that down. And it's really grown up. And I didn't bring any off. And I know if I go in there as thick as that trail was, and tackled that, I would be covered up in red bugs. So here's this gravel road that kind of runs through the middle of the refuge here. So I started my clock, and I'm gonna do me about a good hour while I'm out here instead of doing it in there. But I kind of put it on my mind. I'll get my machete and or probably my Kaiser blade, and I'll get a couple of guys and maybe a power saw or two. We'll try to run back over here. Some guys that I know do the same thing I do. We'll try to clean that up, since the federal government and their employees don't have time. So speaking of work, Colossians 3:23, I think it is, says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as for working or as for the Lord, and not for man. So, you know, I go in a place like that, and you can tell it hadn't been kept up. And I think about work in my own life and coming through, and you know, that Bible verse is pretty cut and dry. It says, whatever you do, work at it at all your heart, as for the Lord. You know, so if you're at work on a daily basis, just like old Slade works every day for Taylor Construction Equipment. And the Bible says everything I do, work at it as hard as I can. And you know, that means not cheating on your lunch break. That means if you clock in if you get there at 8:30, but your time don't start till 9, it don't hurt till go ahead and start work at 8:30. That Bible verse also don't say anything about what you make an hour, or how long you're there, or what you think you're supposed to get. It just says, with everything you do, work hard as for the Lord. And especially after what happened a couple of years ago, y'all know, with what went around. You can't say certain words on YouTube, but it's COVID. Man, I think this whole world was probably already headed in not a good direction, but that sped things up a bunch. The customer service industry seems to really have fell off. Lots of those people need to read and understand that verse, or they need to follow the Fanchers and see this video. The food industry, guys, I don't know about how it is where you live. I'd love to know in the comments. But the food industry nowadays, I don't eat out a lot. It's really expensive. But the main thing is the food's not any good. And the service is just terrible. It's really better on me. And I did it a couple days this week. One day for sure, I pulled my truck down in a place and pulled over on the side of the road under some shade, kind of like where I am now, and had my lunch box and got on the tailgate of my truck and ate me a sliced turkey and tomato sandwich and drank some sweet tea that I put in a big Yeti thermos, because the food service industry is struggling. Now, if you work in the food service industry, I'm not necessarily talking about you. I'm just talking about in general, as a whole. And it's not just the food service industry. I see it in what I do. You know, I have always prided myself in working pretty much as hard as I can from can to can't. If y'all don't know this about me, I am a people. The flies are terrible. I'm a people pleaser. I want everybody to be happy. I want to try to take care of every single person all the time. And we all know you can't please everybody, but that's just how I am. But that's also part of that verse. When I start to work every day, it didn't matter if I was climbing light poles from EMEPA, or when I was working at Sports Center at Owens, or now I'm selling equipment for Taylor Construction. You just gotta work as hard as you can, as smart as you can, all the time. So that's enough of all that. I got my little jogging stint in. But how's everybody's exercise doing? Some of you I'm hearing from, hey Slade, I started walking a month ago and I'm walking this amount of time or this far. I think that's awesome. Just to get up and move. I want to continue to cheer you on and keep on pushing, keep on moving. We got to move. Mine's going okay. We are, I don't know, a little over a month away from the elk trip now. So I am probably, because I started earlier, I'm probably in better shape now than I have been in the last couple of years. I feel pretty good as far as my lungs, my recovery time. I'm not as sore as what I normally am this time of year. A couple of issues I am having is with my shoulders. If y'all watch all my videos, you know how my how my shoulders are. I've had 3 shoulder surgeries, and my shoulders are just rotten. That's just all it is to it. They're just not good. This is a bad hill at all. So I'll go see Dr. Jones probably in 2 more weeks or so, somewhere around the end of August. I'll get me a couple of cortisone shots. He normally gives me 1 in each shoulder, and it helps for sure. But didn't another little running spell. I'm definitely better. You know, that's something else. You know, if you hadn't done it yet and you've been wanting to exercise, you know, maybe you feel like you need to lose 20, 30 pounds. I did. I need to lose. I mean, I was 200. I get down to 180. That's pretty good fighting shape for me. So if you're out there, you need to lose 20, 30 pounds, get up. You don't have to do it every day. Start with 3 days a week. God, the deer flies. Start with 3 days a week, but you got to make yourself get up and move. If you'll do that, if you'll get up and move, start with a quarter mile, half a mile walk. Change your diet up a little bit, you know. Instead of eating 2 double cheeseburgers and that 32-ounce cherry limeade, eat you some yogurt or some oatmeal for breakfast, cottage cheese for lunch, sandwich on wheat bread, a couple of slices of cheese, and an apple. Leave the chips alone. For supper when you get home, your wife cooks. Yay! The wife cooked. Instead of piling that plate up or going back for seconds, it ain't gonna hurt you to eat that same thing tomorrow night. So don't eat so much. She'll just be happy for you to eat what you can eat. But there's lots of little things we can do in our spiritual life too, without really altering our entire lifestyle. Now, some people just have that, that's just how they are. You know, they want to make a big, drastic change, and they have a strong enough mindset once they set their mind to it that they can make those drastic changes. But don't feel like you gotta make that drastic change. Something else I want to tell you. Y'all hear me? I'm laboring. I'm breathing pretty hard because I run a pretty good distance there. Now I'm going up this hill. I used to train with guys when I was doing triathlons. I done got in pretty good shape. We'd be training together. Didn't notice it on the bike as much as I did, but when we were running, you know, we'd be done rode our bike 30, 40 miles, gonna get off and do a 6-mile run. We'd be running together, and we competed. You always compete. I'd be listening to their breathing, you know. We'd be talking, and they wouldn't want you to know they was breathing hard. Don't worry about that crap. Breathe. I'm not scared for y'all to hear me breathe. So if you're out there and you start breathing hard, you ain't gonna die. You're gonna be all right. It sucks to be out of shape. So just keep on pushing through it. The flies are eating me up. I think I have been bit by 337 horse flies. I don't know why, man. So I've been telling y'all the last couple of weeks, when you watch my videos, I mean, the flies got better. They died out, but if you remember 2 weeks ago, I told you there was lots of little bitty deer flies, and you always had those big black horse flies, big as your thumb, like be flying around a swimming pool. But the deer flies and the smaller horse flies hadn't been terrible. Then I started noticing a week, 10 days ago, that they hatched, little bitty ones. Well, let me tell you something. They done got full grown now. And they, man, especially my calves, they have eat the back of my calves up while I'm walking. Golly! Dude, they hurt so bad. Oh. So, anyway, testing my patience. So, I went out 30 minutes. I made the turnaround. Now I'm headed back, so I'll have about an hour or so in. But don't be ashamed of how hard you breathe or how far you can or can't go, because just the fact that you're out there and you're moving, that's what matters. I know a couple of people that, you know, they're in pretty good shape now, and they kind of look down on people that's maybe slower than them or can't do quite as much. Well, that ain't no way to be either. You know, we're all the same in the Lord's sight, so help those people around, and get up every day, 2 or 3 days a week if you can't do every day, and get moving. I promise it'll make a difference in how you feel. But you remember Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as for the Lord and not as for human masters. So it don't matter if you stand on the back of a garbage truck, if you wait tables at a restaurant, if you work at a fast food joint and you're waiting the window, or you're taking orders, speak plainly, or you're an equipment salesman, or you work in retail, or you're a clerk at a doctor's office, or you're a surgeon, or you're an executive for a $500 million a year business. Work as hard as you can as for the Lord and not for human masters. And if you do that, the whole world will be a whole lot better. So I am, God, it's pretty in here. Look how pretty. Pretty. If y'all want to know where I am, look up Noxubee Wildlife Refuge. It's outside of Louisville here. I think it's 46,000 acres. But I am on, look up Bevel Hill Church. That's where I parked. And I showed y'all the Scattertown Trail, but look at Bevel Hill Road. So I got on Bevel Hill Road and I went all the way down where, I forget the name of the road that takes a right. I turned around there at about 30 minutes. Now I'm on the way back. So I like to take you guys along with me so you can kind of watch that. But anyway, it's gonna wind me up. I'm gonna run all the way back. I should have about 12 minutes looking at my clock. So y'all keep following along. We're gonna keep putting some elk stuff in there. I'm gonna blow them elk calls I got by Riven. I really like them. I only spent some time with them this morning, but I'll start blowing them some and we'll start getting ready. So God bless, Jesus saves. Pray for one another. Thank y'all for following the Fanchers. See y'all.